If you had told me years ago that Mike Mayock would be a general manager of the Oakland Raiders and he would be threatened by Antonio Brown and the Raiders would still let him play a game on Monday Night Football, as John Gruden just announced moments ago, I'd say you're crazy.
Oh my God.
But that just actually happened. And so we'll keep an eye on that situation as conditions warrant. And if I had told you that I would have a show with my own name on it entering its 5th year, and I would turn to my right and I'd have as a guest one Mr. Craig Kilborn, I'd say you're just as crazy. But yet both are true. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Craig
Rich,
Kilborn.
It is a joy to be here. How is it going so far?
You know what our chat so far? By the way, it's swimmingly. It's going swimmingly right now. When was the last time we saw each other? It's
Is it in the 90s?
It's got to be when I think you were the host of the Cable Ace Awards show, Craig Kilborn. It had to have been, it may have been that very moment.
So that may have been like 97 or 8 or something.
It's been that long.
Well, you look great. And it's
right
good
back at you, man.
It's good to see you. Can I quickly tell, I told you something off the air.
Okay.
I think America should hear it.
Thank you, Craig.
I worked with 2 broadcasters who I didn't know very well.
Okay.
Because they joined the network or the show late. Mm-hmm. And I was leaving or one foot out the door, which is how I operate. And one is Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
And one is Rich Eisen.
Wow.
And I thought when I met them, I didn't really know them, but I thought they were good, who later became great.
Bless you, Craig.
I think you're great.
Thank you, man.
But there are other groups of us, some of these interchangeable EPs,
right.
these guys like Entz and Mant and these different guys,
yes.
The Weinbergers, they're all producers years ago I was having coffee with one of them and they said, "Is Rich amazing on the NFL Network?" I said, "He's amazing. NFL Network, you dominate."
Thanks, Craig.
You're great.
Killer, man.
You hear that all the time, don't you?
Killer, you are very nice to say that and start this conversation.
Are we done?
No, we're not. We're just getting started, sir.
Okay.
Because, again, I came at ESPN. I arrived at ESPN, turning 40 tomorrow. ESPN.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
ESPN, that's right. We're celebrating
Yes,
later.
we will be celebrating that later ourselves, because you did not get an invitation to the ESPN 40th anniversary, did you?
I still get something from Al Jaffe.
The Kingmaker. Well,
I just wanted to say a name.
By the way, he's the guy who was the talent hunter, if you will. He found you in Salinas, California, correct?
Salinas, Santa Cruz, Monterey, the 110 market. You know how they're numbered?
Yes, right.
It's the 110 market, but it's the most beautiful market there is. I fell in love. I lived in Carmel, and I would commute to Salinas.
Work, right?
Yes, sir.
To be the
Sports
11
guy.
o'clock guy? Like
yeah,
the
we did 6
guy?
and 11, and it was great.
What in the hell were you like doing local TV? Craig?
Well, there was the guy who hired me. He was the news director. His name was Paul Miller. Now he owns, if you're ready for this, the Carmel Pinecone, the newspaper up there. And he does very well. He's a great guy. It was the Bay Bridge series, the A's and the Giants on a different network. And I'm doing the 6 o'clock and no one's watching. Mm-hmm. And so I did sports that night. And I said, if you're a sports fan, you're not watching. So for you non-sports fans, I did some kind of weird thing with the sunset and ethereal music. We're going down, down, down. You're a rag doll going down, down, down. I was just kind of meditating on the air. And the news director laughed his ass off. And then one of the reporters go, "Well, the right guy's laughing. He thinks it's funny." I was doing weird stuff back then.
And then you got the call from ESPN.
Yes.
Straight from there, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
I was in Redding, California, further up the road.
You were in Redding.
In Redding.
Where'd you grow up?
New York City.
Oh, okay.
So it was like northern exposure, like
Right.
the New York Jewish guy in the forest and the mountains,
Right.
and just it's the first time I saw something that large that wasn't made of garbage.
Right.
I mean, it was a remarkable experience for me, and I got a call by Al Jaffe.
Yes.
At the studio at the station.
Yes.
I almost, MF'd him to say this has to be a joke.
Yes.
And then I showed up, and you had already been there for about 3 years.
Well,
And because I showed up in '96.
Well, my deal was a 3-year deal because we barely overlapped.
We barely overlapped.
Yes.
Right. So you got there, and what was the first SportsCenter? Who did you do your first SportsCenter with?
I don't know if it was Carl Ravitch or not, but
Right.
he was the guy very patient with me.
Right.
And so Ravi was the guy.
Ravi was the guy.
Yeah, and by the way, I heard your interview with Ravi.
Hold on a second. Here, I think we have that. Can we play this, Ken Tulo? Mike, you have that? Go ahead. Mike Del Tufo, hit it.
He and I were, according to him, the real feel-good edition. Whatever that meant, that's what we were. Full disclosure. I mean, you of course know Steve Anderson, who was running SportsCenter at the time. About 2 weeks into the Kilborn Ravitch late show after Oberman and Patrick, I went into Steve Anderson's office, closed the door, and I said, "What is this about? Like, this is a disaster. I mean, we're burning down SportsCenter." And he, to his credit, well, be patient. Let's just see where this goes. And obviously, as you know, he became wildly popular, and I was just Felix to the Oscar. I was a straight guy, and it worked out really well for me.
What do you think there?
Okay, so exclusive. I'm going to give you a lot of exclusives. Everything I say today is an exclusive for Rich Eisen.
Thank you, Craig Kilborn.
I had a closed-door meeting also with Steve Anderson.
Is that right?
I said, "What do you think? Am I being too funny?" And Steve Anderson said, "No, bring it on. Make me laugh, Kilborn. Entertain me." And that never happened. But anyways, he said Steve Anderson was a nice guy. But I just wanted to say I had a closed-door meeting with Steve Anderson.
By the way, he's a very powerful man in the ESPN management structure.
Yeah. There are other stories. There's so many.
By the way, it's been a long time since you would say something to me, and I would sit here saying, "Is Craig being serious or not?"
Oh, no.
I just had a flashback to 1996 right there.
I have news for you. Even my good friends don't know when I'm being serious or being sarcastic. I saw your interview with Greeny, the clip of Greeny.
Yes.
Boy, was he excited to hear a Kilborn story. You told that story about going through the roaster.
The roaster. And again, we did, I think, about 3 or 4 sports centers where, again, I did 1 or 2 first, and I did one before you. And the first time I ever met you.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
There you go. You're coming downstairs from the 3rd floor to the 2nd floor, which was the way to go across the catwalk to the studio. You were going to go track the open, as we used to say back in the day. And I'm going back to the 3rd floor because I was just done with the Sports Center. And you said to me, "Nice to meet you." You did call me Spark.
Oh, cool. Very.
You did call me Spark.
Icebreaker.
And you said, a lot of what you've just done, reminds me of what I'm doing.
Say that. Who said that?
You said that to me. You said a lot of what you're doing. Reminds me of what I'm doing.
Oh, am I saying to you? See, I don't remember these stories. Am I saying you're mimicking me, or what am I saying?
I didn't know what to make of it.
Oh, okay.
I thought, I took it that you were just messing with me.
Oh, okay.
Or serious. Someone's saying, I couldn't tell if you were being serious or not.
I was always into good-natured ribbing.
Yes.
And I'm a little more mellow now.
Yes.
I'm slightly nicer. No, a nicer human being. We improve as we get older.
Yes,
so I don't know what I meant by that. But I tell you, I don't remember these stories. We have selective memory,
Yes.
and Albert Scooter Vertino was one of my favorite people there. He's at Turner Sports now. Mm-hmm. He's a friend. He's a great guy. He texts me. I go, "I like sand dabs too." He likes sand dabs and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But he tells me a story that I can't repeat here. It wasn't terrible. It was funny when we were walking down with Steve Levy, and Levy was asking me where I'm going to live and all this stuff. And he tells this story, it was kind of a shock joke that I would do on occasion. I don't remember it. But what I do remember was something a little more poignant, where on my very first show, I was upstairs doing the script.
Yes.
And I think they may have given me an extra panel now on a baseball game that I was really fired up about. and so I'm a little rushed, and Scooter can see it's my very first show. He's doing prompter.
Yeah.
And he says, "Hey, it's going to be okay." Mm-hmm. And I love that he was so supportive.
Sure.
And I don't know if he remembers that. It meant a lot to me.
Well,
it's the only reason I like him.
No, I mean well, you and I eventually did a show about a week later.
Okay.
And you came to me, and I'll tell the story again. What I told Greeley, you're like, "Hey, let's go grab something to eat."
Spark.
You might have called me that then.
You said it the other day. I liked hearing that. It made me laugh.
Spark. And come on, let's go get it. And you drove, and I thought to myself, "Where are we going?" I mean, I'm going to dinner with Craig Kilborn, who obviously I'd watched you and totally loved everything that you were doing. And I'm like, this is this is the SportsCenter experience. It's amazing. And then we pull up to the Kenny Rogers Roll and Roaster drive-thru. And you're in the driver's seat, and you proceed to say that your contract's up, and tell me about the job that you have on the table, and you describe the Daily Show to me.
Yeah.
And you asked me, what do you think I should do? And
I can remember, and of course I bought you dinner because one of my favorite things to do is to buy the young broadcasters dinner. I occasionally don't buy dinner. That's when I charge an appearance fee when I'm at a place. But I did buy you dinner. But I like to. I think I asked because you're a broadcaster, and I said I wanted someone to say. I never knew if someone was like, "Oh my God, yeah, get the hell out of here," or "That sounds so cool," or I don't know. I didn't know what you'd say. I just wanted to hear.
I had no idea what the hell to say.
Well, the only reason I did is because of what you told me. The only reason I left is because Rich Eisen said, "Go, man,
That's
go."
it. Yeah, I did. I actually said, "Follow, what your gut, or follow your dream, or something like that."
Thank you.
Plus, I knew, the rumor was that you just wanted out anyway.
I had done my job.
Why
but
did you
I was
feel
grateful.
that way?
I was grateful for it, by the way. Every job I had, I was grateful for. I just wanted to do a network late night show. That's what I wanted to do.
And then you got it.
Yeah.
Why did you leave it? I've always wanted to ask you that question.
I'm going to give you an exclusive.
Okay.
I'm glad. It was an easy decision to leave. The CBS show is easily my favorite show. Wasn't even close. The Daily Show was important because there was no way I was going from ESPN to CBS late night.
Right.
And back in the 90s, people forget this, there was a big difference between cable and network. In fact, The Daily Show, they developed it because Politically Incorrect was leaving to go to ABC.
Correct.
So Daily Show was a blast. I was living in New York, but I didn't like the format was a news parody, 4-minute interviews, half-hour show. I wanted to my hero was Johnny Carson. I wanted to do a late night show. So I do the CBS show, 5-year deal, and I lost interest. Here it is. I'm going to spell it out because people don't understand it. Some people do get it. Some people, it's funny. I don't expect anyone to understand it, but that's fine. But some people do. I'll use the word bored here. I say I lost interest in the comedy of late night. I got bored of the comedy of late night, and I have this weird, irreverent sense of humor, whatever it is, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I also I don't want to do social commentary. Like the late show guys now have to do some politics and social commentary. They all do a great job. Doesn't interest me. So, and it worked out perfectly because that was kind of, for me, it was an easy show to leave. You know what I'm saying? And there it is.
Did you ever, Craig Kilborn here, a couple, the hour with Craig Kilborn here.
We're going an hour?
Oh, yeah, brother. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Is that double scale?
That's double scale. Did you ever communicate that to Letterman? Because Letterman was the one before you, and he owned this.
Did I ever communicate
that you got bored and you were done? Did you?
I didn't use the word bored because I use it here because you're pulling it out of me.
Okay.
You're pulling it out of me.
And we are pulling. Yes, we are pulling, and we are pulling.
I did call him to thank him for the job.
Right.
And I can remember one of the things, he was nice. He was nice. And I said, I'm a little, I actually did a basketball reference. I said, I'm a little nomadic like Larry Brown because he jumped around. I'm just looking for something else. It wasn't, but I just didn't, I wanted to do it. I got it out of my system, and I was no longer stimulated by late night comedy. And the weird thing is, and I thought anything I'd want to do is so narrow that there might not be anything.
Right.
So I just said early retirement. I like conclusions. Boom, done. And so I wrote this article in the LA Times where I interviewed myself in 2015.
Right.
And I did it, and I said, this is my most favorite thing I've ever done. That's my comedic sensibility. And I don't deconstruct it. I just do it. And the odd thing is, the Instagram is a little ridiculous. It's even better than the article because there's some visuals.
Right.
And it's gone really well. And thank you. You're so supportive. And these other guys, they're my old writer friends. I mean, Alex Sulkin and Goldie and Gibby.
Right.
I'm
telling you, when the Sulk, who I've gotten to know, Susie's doing a project with him too. And, he's like, you got to check out Kilby on Instagram. And I'm like, he's on Instagram? And I started seeing it. And it is for folks who miss you, Craig. I mean, I'll be very honest. It's the uncut, the good old stuff, man. It really is. It's amazing. It's so much fun.
It is fun to do, and it's everyone. My Alex Sulkin, my older brother Chris says it's very positive, and Alex, kind of like the little brother I never had who smokes, he's very supportive of it too. And I find it interesting because he's married, he does Family Guy, he's got kids. And most of the rest of his time, 80%, 90% is spent crushing on Tom Brady. He has a man crush on Tom Brady, but he's spending a little time with me, and he's very encouraging to me. And that's enough on him. This is not about Alex Sulkin.
It's about Craig Kilborn, everybody, and we've got Craig here in studio. When we come back, I want to stroll down some SportsCenter commercial memory lane with you. I've got 5 questions for you.
Okay, can I say one thing?
Please.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt, even though I just did.
By the way, that's a great.
I
construct.
apologize. I'm looking at everyone and apologizing.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Chris.
Same here, Craig.
You're pretty good.
I'm a longtime fan.
I also like my
Del
man,
Tufo.
my man over here.
Mikey,
Well,
right.
I can see his ball cap. I have, we can do it now or when we come back.
Sure.
But I have, the Instagram is going, well, there's some prominent DMs. I'm only going to read 3 or 4, but some prominent people have DM'd me, and I can share them. I'd like to share them.
I look forward to that, too.
Thank you.
We've got, coming up for the television-only audience, we'll show you one of Craig's Instagram videos that we're talking about. We'll come back, 5 questions, DM, stroll down SportsCenter memory lane, and then later on, what this is all building up to. You look great, by the way, Craig. I know you're looking off to the side. This is old school Kilborn right now, man. This is fantastic. You look great, Craig.
You know,
really do.
Mike McQuaid, I always did that for Mike McQuaid. He loved when I looked in the monitor. He loved it.
It's Friday, and we just want to dance, Craig.
Long time ESPN producer.
God, did
Mike
he
McQuaid.
like when
He's
I
still
looked in
there.
the monitor?
I'm sure he must have loved that. Okay, so, and then later on, we will toast to ESPN.
Yes,
you
sir.
and I will have our own little party. That's Craig Kilborn here on The Rich Eisen Show. Craig Kilborn still with us here on The Rich Eisen Show. The rumor was at ESPN when we were working together and you were there that basketball was the only sport you cared about. Is that a true story? Do you agree with that?
I knew too much about the NBA. I'm not proud of that. No, I did. There was, and the one thing I didn't know, I didn't memorize years, like the seasons, because it was, the 85, 86 Celtics. I didn't memorize that. And one of the research guys didn't want to go in and look something up. And I didn't know I knew this. He said, when did the shot clock come in? I said 54, 55. So even stuff I didn't think I knew.
Right.
But when you followed sports your whole life and played,
Yes.
you understand all sports. I was into the NFL. I actually played hockey in Minnesota. I played hockey.
Okay.
And then the hockey coach says, you got to make a choice between basketball and hockey. And he was trying to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
It was in a little this heating room near the rink with the team. You make a choice. And if you're not going to be part of the team, you walk out. Now I said, I got to go. Because I already knew I was good in basketball. I started basketball in 2nd grade.
Right.
But years ago at ESPN, Tirico, my sweet man, took me to a Hartford Whalers game. We're watching the game. I said, who's number 8? He goes, why? I said, I like the way he moves. He goes, it's Jeff Sanderson, fastest skater, best passer on the team. I have the vision. So the thing I would say is if you commit to sports, and I remember saying this to different people, if you had to be the voice of the WNBA, you would immerse yourself. And I wanted to do late night, but so I didn't necessarily commit to Pierre Paget. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like you did, though, deep down.
No, because when I see PAGE, that's Alan Page, man. You know what I'm saying? That name is bound.
That's your Minnesota roots.
Yeah,
right there,
but I think broadcasting in general is fairly easy. That's why so many people can do it. But I'm going to compliment you again. You actually have a personality. You're funny.
Yes, thank you.
My favorite word when people charismatic. Some people are charismatic. I think you're great.
I appreciate that.
Chris, am I going too much, complimenting him too much?
No, he likes hearing about himself.
No, stop. We all do. There's an I in Rich and Eisen. And, there is an I in Craig and Kilborn as well.
He is. Rich seems to be a nice guy. He is. And I did the driver here. I said, Rich is such a nice guy. The driver today said, he is. Everyone talks about what a nice guy Rich is.
Hey.
So that's pretty nice.
Words out.
I appreciate that. Tirico took you to the mall, huh? The Hartford Mall.
Yeah.
Somebody, my buddy Phil Green, who worked at I went to school with, and he worked at ESPN. He took me to my first Hartford Whalers game.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe it was in the mall, like an actual mall. So
right.
It was you and Tirico went to a hockey game, huh?
Ruth's Chris beforehand. You know,
You pick up dinner, or who picked up dinner?
I like to buy dinner for the people.
KO tweeted that. You're not on Twitter, right? Are you on
Nope.
Twitter? No. Okay. KO tweeted out that you've never bought dinner for anybody in your life. Is what Keith
I
told
just
me.
took Alex Sulkin out on Wednesday. True story.
Okay.
I picked my spots. Just to.
Craig Kilborn here on the Rich Eisen Show. Who shoots your Instagram videos?
I call her my wife because it's one syllable. It's my longtime girlfriend,
Okay.
Princess Cherry,
Okay.
who is I like to talk about her. She doesn't like me to talk about her, but
Okay.
she's a hippie girl.
Okay.
She's into all the organic stuff. She has a garden. It's all very healthy.
Yes.
Won't let me take statins for my heart. I have to take krill oil. She's very,
Okay. All right.
And you know what hippie women love more than anything is sarcasm. So I don't talk much at home, but I shoot and edit my stuff unless I need someone else to do it. Where I'm not
Sure.
doing this when
Right.
if I'm dancing or something or moving,
Twirling a parasol,
If I'm
for
twirling with a parasol,
Yes.
be careful. So she will shoot that.
Okay.
Yes.
And then so you're in charge of the dissolving, for instance.
Yeah, and
It's
you're
your choice.
obsessed with the dissolving.
I just love that when you can. When I saw the Instagram video of you talking about and we are dissolving, and you did it
Yes.
4 times over, and then you dissolved to Larry Bird shooting a jumper with some yacht rock underneath it.
Okay, that was fun.
I thought to myself, okay, this is the Kilborn that we've all been missing. This is the Craig Kilborn that the country needs
yes.
re-injected into our zeitgeist.
Thank you.
You are very welcome,
Thank
sir.
you.
So you edit, and your longtime girlfriend is the one who shoots.
And
on
then
occasion.
there are certain things. My son John will do things that I can't do. Like he'll add the twinkle in my eye. There's certain advanced editing, but 95%, it's fun to do. And I used to, in local TV in Monterey, I went in the edit bay and did the Warrior games. Let's show Tim Hardaway.
That's right.
Yo-yoing. Let's show the crossover. This is in the early 90s.
I did my stint in Redding, California, 94 to 96, the Mitch Richmond, the Run TMC videos that I edited as well myself.
By the way,
we have that history.
Right. Chris Mullin, to me, is one of the most underrated NBA ball players of all time. Great touch. I remember talking to Freddie Hoiberg.
Mm-hmm.
Mullin was on the Pacers at the end of his career, and Fred Hoiberg was on that team, and Larry Bird coached it. And Fred said Larry couldn't believe Mullin, because those two guys can shoot. Fred Hoiberg and Larry Bird can shoot.
Yes.
Mullin never missed in practice, in a scrimmage. He just wouldn't miss. Little flick of the left hand.
You're talking to a New Yorker, too. I remember him, St. John's, one of my favorite players. Did you ever... You did a 3-point contest with Steve Kerr? Craig Kilborn. Is that a true
thank
story?
you for letting me. Does everyone know? I get to teach today. I get to teach. Does everyone know the difference between excuse and a reason?
Okay.
So I'm going to now tell reasons why I struggled. They're not excuses, okay? People misuse the word all the time. I had a late night. I'm supposed to referee Kenny Smith and Steve Kerr. Mm-hmm. They're going to shoot. I'm going to be the referee. This is for Turner Sports, TNT. Yes. I wake up and I said, God, I'm so glad I don't have to play. I'm hurting. Back is sore. Had a late night. All I have to do is ref. They call and they said, Kenny's sick. You got to shoot. I go, I'm ready. I'm ready to shoot. I'm ready. So I start warming up, and Kerr goes, oh my Lord, I'm in trouble here because I'm a pure shooter. But and we're not going to get into the best part of my game, which is passing.
Okay,
there are only two other guys that can do some of these, and that's Arvidas and Larry. But that's not we're not talking about this. Stay focused. So I shoot the ball and I miss every shot on the first rack. Now, I hadn't played in a long time.
Okay.
And then I warmed up a little bit on the second rack, and you can see my form and my release and all that kind of stuff. And my favorite jump shot is probably Mark Price. I also like Freddie Brown. I like to hold that follow.
Well, you're a shooter.
Steve says afterwards, I lose. I shot, if I shoot well, I shoot 3 for 5, 4 for 5, 5 for 5. But he says, have you ever pulled the ball off the rack? Have you ever pulled the ball off the rack to practice? I said, no. He goes, well, then you got to practice that. And I said, yeah, it's like a bad pass. This is a bad pass. You're supposed to. So I'm pulling it across my body without ever practicing. Mm-hmm. That's the reason I missed every shot on the first rack.
The difference between
we learned something today.
We did learn. Professor
By
Craig
the way,
Kilborn
also the league did not want me to win. I was like the Sacramento Kings. They wanted the NBA guy to win. And
it's always a conspiracy theory with the NBA, Craig.
And I don't even know if Steve Kerr would have recovered from that if he had lost and if he had been a coach at the Warriors. But it's a trickle down. We'll see.
Craig Kilborn here on the Rich Eisen Show. I have got some old SportsCenter commercials I want to play.
Great.
And even on the radio, it will work as far as I am concerned. Because Craig Kilborn, let's run through some of your memories here. This is the first one that we have here is okay, Glenn Jacobs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the original Sparky. He was a PA from ESPN that they decided to put in a SportsCenter commercial because I think they noticed some byplay between the two of you. Let's take a look.
My name's Glenn Jacobs, and I've been a PA here at SportsCenter for about 3 months, and it's been really great.
You've embarrassed me on national TV.
I mean, I work long hours, sure, but I get a lot of exercise. I mean, it's really cool when one of those guys reads something I've written on the air.
Nice try, Sparky. Nice try. Maybe next time.
4 months ago, I was writing a paper about my idol, Craig Kilborn.
Gary?
Glenn?
Okay.
Here I am getting career advice from him.
2 words for you. Pizza, delivery.
It's incredible.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that was good. How long did you work at ESPN?
7 years.
Okay. I was there 3. You were on the 2 a.m., right?
I was on the 2 a.m. Well, you dubbed it the Feel Good Edition.
Yes.
And then when you left, I did it mostly with Stuart.
How was your weight back then?
Not very good.
Because mine, I mean, what time would you get to bed? Because I would get to bed at 4
in
a.m.
the
at the
morning.
earliest.
Yes, correct.
And then if I said, oh, I like the show, I'm going to stay up and watch at 6:30, I'd get a little breakfast and then watch. Oh, my Lord.
It was not an easy schedule.
Hard.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
I saw the sunrise more often than not.
Yeah.
That is correct. That's what that commercial reminds you of, huh? That those late nights?
Well, I always wanted to know how long you were there, and I forgot to ask you how long you were there.
Let's take a look at the next one. This is Bob Lee and Charlie Steiner doing their hard news, and then Craig Kilborn comes in at the end. Let's take a look.
Did he accept the money before the tournament? Because if he did, they're going to have to forfeit the championship. You've got the documentation. I need it tonight. This is our lead story.
I know Tyson is fighting where, and I know Tyson is fighting when, but I need to know who that next opponent's going to be. And we're looking at this series.
Guys, what do you like better, hurt me or spank me?
Spank me.
Spank me.
Perfect. Okay.
But let's sit.
This is extremely easy. You can get it to me tonight. I can get it on.
Those guys were good. I loved how they, yeah. By the way, they both were very nice, but Bob Lee would go out of his way and say, I loved when you put Barry White in the lead-in. He would say that to me. Bob Lee was so supportive. He was great.
Bob Lee, you'd think is, that he's nicknamed the General for General Lee.
Yeah.
So straight-laced, Mr., hard news. He would come up to me all the time and say that was a funny lead-in and stuff like. He enjoyed that.
He's a
sense of
nice young man.
And Charlie, one of the greatest SportsCenter commercial anchors in the history of those commercials.
Yes.
Where he did the pool boy one from 90210.
Yeah.
And then there's one more here. The pickup game. I think Cherokee Parks, and of course.
Before you show it, can I say one thing?
Yeah, sure.
It's very quick. Okay, it's very quick. I do a hook pass to Juwan Howard.
Yes.
I mean, you gotta see it. It was a very quick off the dribble hook pass.
Yes.
And he said, I didn't know you had that in your game.
Let's take a look. Let's see the hook pass.
It's too quick. It's the edit.
A lot of companies, we've got a team in the corporate basketball league, and being SportsCenter, we take it pretty seriously.
Go up, Juwan. Let's lose world.
There it is. That was it. Oh, my Lord. Oh.
Let's go, Red. Push it, Boo. Hey, this is Boo. You're bringing in ringers. You can cheer us.
Jim Cohen.
Juwan, hey, just play the game. Just play the game, plumber boy.
But it's all in good fun.
Defense wins championship.
Directed by the great Hank Perlman.
He did many of them.
Still a good friend of mine.
Tell him I said hello.
I will.
Did you ad-lib the defense wins championships? Did you ad-lib that one?
Sure. I mean, I want to be humble. My whole goal in life now is to be humble. Yes, I have. The goal is to be low-key and improve as we get older. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that. First day I came to work at ESPN, first day ever, was when you were shooting the Don't Walk commercial. The Hands Across America
They had to edit me out because I left. Did you know that?
No.
Yes, Alan Brose was very upset.
So the commercial where you came up with the ballad "Don't Walk,"
Right.
and you were front and center.
Yeah,
shooting that.
and then I left to go to Comedy Central, and they had to edit it out, and they were very upset. And one of the things I wanted to do is apologize for that. I'm sorry.
To who? Who are you apologizing to?
Whoever was upset. ESPN and Alan Bros. I know Alan though, but he's fine.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No kidding. All right, I've got 5 questions for you, Craig Kilborn. Let's do it. 5 questions with Craig Kilborn here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, we got the music and everything.
The music, crank it in.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Craig Kilborn, 5 questions. First question: who is Canada's finest actor, Craig?
Well, you want me to say Shatner, so I'll say Shatner. By the way, I'm not.
Who else would it be?
I have not seen these questions.
Okay, so it is Shatner.
Well,
correct.
I assume it's
you are correct.
Yeah, thank you.
Correct.
Thank you.
Now, question number 2: where is Krakatoa located, Craig Kilborn?
East of Java.
That is correct. East of Java is correct. It's one of your favorite home run calls. Number 3, 5 questions. Third question. That was geography, by the way.
Yes.
Number 3: what is Robin Williams' finest movie?
Oh, well, I liked Dead Poets Society. But I think the young people like Jumanji.
It's correct. Jumanji is the correct answer. 4th is question number 4. This is my favorite one.
Say hi to Gus Ramsey.
That's
by
right.
the way.
That's one of the questions, by the way. I think you just did. Number 4. Name this time of year when people get sick but make a lot of jumpers.
Oh, I don't understand this one. Say it again.
Name the time of year when people get sick but make a lot of jumpers.
The cold and poo season?
That is correct. The cold and poo season. You are 4 for 4. Here's number 5. You can go 5 for 5. You're dining at the Sardine Factory in Monterey.
Yay,
and you've
yes.
ordered pan-seared king salmon with braised asparagus, artichoke, and carrots. What is the correct type of wine to order?
Oh, I don't pay attention to that. I'm sorry. I just do Pinot Noir or a red blend, or I do Cabernet.
That is correct. As you can see, the answer right here, whatever he says is correct.
Oh,
so
cool.
that's correct. Craig Kilborn got 5 of 5 here on the makeshift.
By the way, the Sardine Factory, they have a nice picture of Clint Eastwood up there because one of his movies, Play Misty for Me, they had a nice scene right there at the bar. That's my favorite. Carmel by the Sea, Monterey, Pebble Beach.
It's all great.
So beautiful there.
The cold and poo season.
Knock,
made me laugh out
Pooh's
loud.
there. Yes.
How did that start, your obsession with Pooh Richardson?
Well, I'll just step back for a second, and I'm not going to answer your question. No. I just having fun. I liked his name, Pooh. That's basically it. But I wasn't into catchphrases and the puns. Some people say are the lowest form of humor, but they're catchy. And unless you're brilliant, like Alex Sulkin's brilliant,
yes,
and he's really good at puns. So if you're brilliant, but so I have a friend who is or an acquaintance, I'll say, who is a software engineer and boring and not funny, but he can construct puns. He can take his little rhyming dictionary and do that. But that was just, he'd score 6 points, and I wanted to say poo at 2 a.m. in the morning. I mean, that's what I want to say poo.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Everybody
I think
would.
it's funny to say ha-ha Clinton Dix. I mean, ha-ha Clinton Dix.
That would be if you were doing SportsCenter these days.
Yes.
That would be your guy.
Ha-ha.
What about the NBA? Who would fascinate you now, name-wise? What you got right now?
I don't know name-wise. Again,
Sure.
Well, you just mentioned the NBA, and I love the NBA.
So much.
It's like I'm talking about it a little bit. I don't have much to say. I do like Karl Anthony Towns. I will say this, just to educate people. 20 years before the Timberwolves came in existence in 1989, I was obsessed with the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So people say, is it painful with the Timberwolves? No, I like that there's a team there. I always pull for them, but I'm an NBA fan first for 20 years. This past championship with Toronto winning was beautiful. Loved it. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. I do know what
I
you're
don't know
saying.
who's going to win next year, but
there is 2 Sabonises in the NBA right now, right?
I did not know that.
Kids of Arvidas. He is.
I know
propagated.
I know his son at the Pacers. I didn't know about the other one.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just giving.
It just
too
feels
much
like
credit.
there's lots of Sabonis.
Craig Kilborn is here. One more television-only segment. We'll sneak in another view of one of your Instagram videos, and then you're going to make martinis for us to clink glasses.
I don't read the thing.
No, you can. No, we'll do that. We'll do that when we come.
I'm now lost enthusiasm. I'm not doing it.
Your DMs, you can read DMs. We can absolutely do that. We've enough time to read DMs and clink glasses that you're going to make the martinis for us to celebrate 40th anniversary of ESPN.
Let me just see what they are.
All right, Craig Kilborn is here. We've got that when we return here on the Rich Eisen.
Oh, this is funny. Let me read these.
Okay, go for it, Craig.
Or we can do it right now?
No, we'll do it when we come back. Craig Kilborn here on the Rich Eisen Show. Chris, the poll question final results. Throw it up there right there before we get out of Dodge here.
Yeah,
on
we're
Friday.
at the best game of the weekend. LSU, Texas, 40%.
How about that, beating all the other NFL games that
Yeah,
have
Steelers, Pats, 38%.
That's a huge story.
Craig Kilborn, you just read some of the DMs that you've received on your Instagram account.
just
You've got
give you
one
one.
more. Give me one more that some famous DMs that you've received.
This is O. Gregory. Post something about not retiring. Can't have him around the house. You thought I was boring. Giselle. Okay, let's start this. Let's get this. So this is a little early. I don't do lunch martinis. But
So you're pouring a martini now into the martini shaker.
I poured just a little in. It looked like there may have been the ice
some
may
ice
have
in
been
there.
set. But you won't complain. Don't,
No, I'm not.
Don't
I'm not at
send
all.
the drink back.
We just need to. The olives are already in the glasses.
Don't bruise it. Don't bruise it. Some people at home, what about stirring? There's a great bar called the Edmund over on Melrose. They like to stir. I like that. I like to shake a little bit.
So, are you more like Bond, shaken, not stirred, or you're?
I prefer actually bruising the vodka, making it ice cold.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
These are vermouth washed glasses. We had put a little vermouth in there earlier.
Okay.
And then
Pouring it out.
Why don't you
I'll take that one.
this is my friend Rich Eisen. Are we toasting? I just want to toast you. Seeing you again, you want to toast the ESPN, correct?
We are toasting to ESPN's 40th anniversary. There's a big event going on this weekend. My invitation is probably where yours is right now.
Yeah.
So we just figured, why not just do it ourselves?
What a nice thought.
You know what I mean? Like, I haven't seen you in a very long time.
My arm's getting sore.
I know. Because I like to toast. I haven't seen you in a long time, Craig, and I've been cultivating this caper to try and get you come on this show. And
You're the only guy. What if I only do your show? I'd love to just do that because I like you're smooth and natural. Did I compliment you? I like Rich.
There you go.
I like Rich.
Okay.
Let me just see what this is because the
Appreciate
water,
that.
the ice was sitting there.
Cheers to you.
Nice to see you.
Cheers to you.
Nice to
see you.
finally meet you.
Cheers.
It's watered down. Don't say anything. It's watered down.
That's
because the ice was sitting there. But let's pretend it's not. This is what I say at a bar or a restaurant, the Big Four up in San Francisco and Nob Hill. I take a sip. I go like this. I go, this is the greatest moment of my life. I enjoy the moment. This is now the greatest moment of my life when I take a sip of a beautiful, chilled vodka. I need fresh ice, and we're going to do it again off the
But the vodka does taste appropriately bruised.
By the way,
and it was made with love.
Yeah,
I felt it.
When I poured the vodka in there, I saw that it went up to. I knew there was water in there from the ice melting, but that's okay. I don't want to. I'm not complaining, but we didn't have to say anything, and I was the one who said it because I thought you might.
It is just the most special moment in my life, right?
Try this again.
Try it one more time. Here we go. Were you choosing again or no?
I was just going to sip again. This mic is in my way.
Okay, here we go.
It's hard to drink. That's why it's hard to drink with a mic in your. No,
okay, here we go. Craig Kilborn here on the Rich Eisen Show.
And a little Jobim. Add a little music, please.
Very good. No, don't worry about it, Mike. Don't worry about the music.
The greatest moment in the history of the show.
This has been just a fun moment. We've heard the name Pooh Richardson, Cherokee Parks. You mentioned Mike Zimmer. You love Mike Zimmer. You love your Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of good teams in the NFC. I don't know. Maybe you could explain. I know how they play different divisions, but I don't know how they choose home and away. And if we had the Rams schedule, we're in the playoffs, maybe in the NFC Championship game. I like our defense. Offensive line has to improve. Cousins is a big question mark. I like the receivers. I like Diggs when he was a rookie. Now he's a big star. I like Dalvin Cook. Our kicking is suspect, but maybe it's average or okay. But did you love Mike Zimmer?
Of course.
He cares about his first year with the Vikings. They went 7-9. They could have gone 8-8. They gave up a 3rd and 23 at Buffalo. They blew it. Last game of the season press conference, he got emotional. He cares. And he said, Xavier Rhodes came up and said, you've made me a better football player. Because he was hard on Xavier. I love Mike Zimmer.
there's no reason to sue you about that.
Okay, thank you.
No reason.
Thank
to
you
sue
for letting me talk about.
Mike Zimmer is one of the all-time favorites around here. It's good to see you, Craig Kilborn.
Thank you, sir.
So, will you come back, or you should come back?
I'll come back. Yes, I will. I will come back in what 10 years? No. No. This
NBA
is
season.
The NBA.
Come on.
We'll do
How about that?
Playoffs? Maybe we'll figure it out.
No. A little regular, a little
Okay.
taste. Get a little taste of.
We don't have to drink watered down vodka.
We don't have to every time. This is just for the happy 40th anniversary, ESPN, from me and Craig Kilborn. How does that sound?
That's beautiful. Are you stretching right now?
And we are stretching. And we are stretching.
And dissolving.
And we are dissolving. Can we get one dissolve? Come on, give me a dissolve before. Just gave Craig a dissolve. And we are dissolving. Have a great weekend, everybody. On Eisen Overtime, we'll give you sneaky good games and also my take on Antonio Brown.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.